show African Young Entrepreneurs, a show which is meant to motivate, inspire young people in Africa to become entrepreneurs and to conquer in the entrepreneurship journey. Today we're right here in Breastside, Harare, where we're going to be talking to Mr. Ryan Katayi, a proud entrepreneur. Let's listen to him.
So we developed a platform that can host over 100,000 farmers accessing the platform at each and every instant. What I'm talking about is with 100,000 farmers, customers logged in at any point in time. Our platform can carry that. My name is Ryan Katayi, 24 years, 25, hoping to be 50 soon. I get myself as a visionary who is determined to see the growth of the country. But then overall, I think in simpler terms, I'm a chemical engineering student, turned farmer and turned entrepreneur. So this is a story that most people would think is a fable. We draw this inspiration from my grandmother, right? She supported us as Farmhat, not as Farmhat, as my family when we were growing up, right? We faced a lot of challenges. Of course, each and every family in Zimbabwe was facing challenges then. But then what took us through all those times was the tenacity that my grandmother had. She only had a small piece of land, but then what I came to know is that I went through my primary school from what she was earning at that farm. I went my first day in high school from what she earned from her farm, and she kept the family together, and from all that I managed to learn something, and that was agriculture really is the root that binds the Zimbabwean families that we have today. And from then on, it just ticked a box for Farmhat when we started it with my co-founders. It was just that family value, that whole hospitable issue that brought in a lot of people in that form of family, and to us that's one of the things that we put in high regard. I think it goes way back to our roots, right? We were a hunting and gathering tribe or nation, right? Then we moved on to, we evolved over time to become, there's a time when we had the mbira, right? So music really is part of the ecosystem, it's part of who we are, it's part of our DNA. But then what's also part of our DNA is agriculture, because where we were at first, not even the towns were not even there at first. We had farming. It's what we communed around, and thinking around that now, looking at the survival that's there, people just want to do anything. And most youths have gone into music because all it takes is your talent and someone to recognize that. But then when it comes to agriculture now, it's a high input game, and you have to obviously know someone to even start, because you need advice and so forth. So for me, it was a point of saying, I grew up on a farm, I know the ins and outs, and together with my team, we managed to devise a way to bring that farm directly to the faces of youth, to show them that they don't even need a big piece of land to be productive. And so that's one of the things that launched us into saying, let's do agriculture, let's do farming, let's popularize this, let's make this fashionable. Because not just old people that are supposed to do farming, youth also can. Farmhat is, when many people jump to Farmhat, the first question they ask is, what's the platform, right? So Farmhat is a platform that's there to address the challenges that are currently existing in the market. So you'd find that someone farms in Mazoe. Mazoe is actually closer. We actually have farmers coming from as far as Bulawayo, trying to access markets in Harare. So there's what we call geofencing on Farmhat, whereby people in Bulawayo access their markets in Lawayo. People in Victoria Falls access their markets in Victoria Falls. So we've been having situations whereby a lot of buyers are inquiring from Victoria Falls and would want their produce here in Harare. So there are also logistical challenges that come with that. You can transport produce over 1,000 kilometers away from Harare to Victoria Falls, etc. And this has been happening over time. So you'd find that the price point that the farmer is supposed to charge at the end of the day, it's downgraded because they have to meet the demand that's there on the market. So we only have around 12 physical markets, give or take, here in Zimbabwe. In this way, over 80% of our population is selling their produce, that is the farming population. So this physical market now is not sustainable, as you're already saying in the COVID pandemic right now. Not many people have the luxury of moving to physical markets. Not only the movement, it's not safe moving to physical markets to sell your produce. And that's not even the problem. We started Farmhat way before COVID was even there. The prices that are judged at Mtizwa, it's insane. Mtizwa being one of the physical markets here in Zimbabwe, it's insane. So there's what you call magombiros, right? They literally dictate what sells at how much and on what day, right? So a farmer moves from Murewa to Mtizwa without knowing exactly how much they're going to price their produce, without knowing exactly whether all their produce is going to be bought, and they do not even know what they're going to pay with the truck that they use to transport their goods. Given this, a farmer does not have money when they harvest to pay a trucker or someone who moves their produce to the market. So the promise is, when I sell, I'll give you your money, or you get a percentage of the produce that I'm going to harvest. So you already see that farmers in this instance are treated as secondary citizens, right? Because they are literally earning peanuts from something that they work for around 4 months for. So Farmhat is there to address that. We are creating a virtual market where people come on the platform. As Munya mentioned, we get over 10,000 visits on our platform each and every day, depending on the day. On a bad day, we're getting around 10,000, right? And on this, from all these people, they leave inquiries and they contact our farmers directly from the platform. For those that want special orders, bigger orders, they contact Farmhat directly. And Farmhat sends quotations, and also the platform sends quotations directly to the farmers. So what we're literally seeing right now, from when we incepted Farmhat, is a phase whereby, even without our existence, the platform does all the work on its own. And in the future that we're looking at a point whereby everything is automated, from the point of sale, from the point of planting, everywhere. So these are some of the woes that farmers are facing. And you may ask, weren't there solutions before? Isn't there Facebook where farmers should just list their produce and probably sell? Yes, there is Facebook, but then how many posts on Facebook do you see a day? How many of them do you see about farming? How many of them do you see about boutiques, clothing, etc.? It's a crowded market, and Farmhat is just a market for fresh produce. So this is a platform where someone comes when they want fresh produce. And you may ask again, whom do we have that made all this a possibility? The team, right? We have a set of skills that made this possible. I'm always in awe every time I say this. We have over 25 years combined experience in the following sectors: digital marketing, front-end and back-end development, web development, mobile app development, general administration, accounting, AI and machine learning, all combined. So there's over 25 years experience within the 3 co-founders only. And I'm only 24, the others are 21 and 20. Right. So looking at it, it's a great pool resource that we managed to push through. And Kumbi, who is our Chief Technology Officer, comes in with the development part. He has dedicated almost half of his life in development, and looking at it, he sleeps only 3 hours a day, in each and every day. And every time he's logged on the laptop, what he's doing, trying to look at whatever technology is coming out there, how it can be integrated with Farmhat, what Farmhat can do to make it easier, etc. So the greatest challenge that we always had was, how can we integrate technology into this primarily indigenous sector that we had in Zimbabwe? And the first question that we always had was, are people going to adopt the service? And the question always came back floating to us to say, no. Like, who'd use an internet service in agriculture? Would farmers use an internet service? So when we launched, we didn't expect much. But then we were actually shocked. This is our 5th website, the one that you currently have. So we developed a platform that can host over 100,000 farmers accessing the platform at each and every instant. What I'm talking about is with 100,000 farmers, customers logged in at any point in time, our platform can carry that. And it can take up a subscription of over 1 million users at any given instance. So what we're looking at is a platform that needs a very strong interface to support that. So we have various channels to access this platform. It can be offline, it can be online. We've developed a USSD code that is almost in completion that you can use to access this platform. Then you also have an automated SMS that is also helping us access this platform offline. So a Gogo in Yazura can access this by just dialing a simple USSD code or just sending an SMS such as Farmhat help, and we bear the cost for that SMS, and they can be given all the information that they query from the platform. Then online you can access that through a mobile application that we're launching in March, then our website, and also our chatbots that are available on all social media, including WhatsApp, Facebook, Telegram, and even Instagram. So this is what we've tried to do to ensure that access is given to all. And given all this remaining the same, we anticipate that by the year 2025, we would have intercepted all the technologies that are currently trending right now. Because what we're looking at is a growth sector, which is the agriculture sector with over 6.7 million active farmers to date. So it's not just a market to look at, it's a market to marvel at. So I think to all those that have watched this show, the major key issue takeaway out of this is not just to marvel at what we as Farmhat have done so far, because when you look at ourselves, we feel like each and every day we haven't done enough. So this is my word. When we were starting Farmhat, it wasn't this, right? It starts as an idea, but then you may ask yourself, how does that idea come about? There are a lot of shows out there. There are a lot of articles. There are a lot of videos. There is a lot of content out there that is showing you exactly what kind of startups are successful to this day. So what you have to do is, you don't have to start anything afresh, right? You have to take a working concept that's working in another ecosystem, and you have to check if it applies to the current situation that's in your ecosystem, number one. Number two, look at the problems that is separate from the first one. Look at the problems that are currently prevailing. What is happening in your ecosystem? What challenges are people facing? What's the pain point? So it's always difficult when you become the third person and you try and ask, what challenges are people facing? Try and look at what challenges you are facing as an individual, right? You don't have to be crowded in a sector. Try and look at sectors where people are not really looking. Look at what other young people in Zimbabwe now are doing with tourism. Look at what other people now are doing with hunting, wildlife management, etc. Look at a sector that is underrepresented with major problems that apply to the global sector. And whilst you're at it, don't be myopic. Don't look at the Zimbabwean ecosystem and go like, yeah, we're doing it. You're not yet doing it if you don't have international recognition yet. You're not yet doing it if Europe doesn't need your product. You're not yet doing it if Uganda doesn't need your product, if Western Africa doesn't need your product. So whenever we're creating these products, we are looking at becoming the next unicorns. By unicorns, I mean the first startup, or the first time you become $1 billion valued startup, right? So we are looking at that instance. So the goal is always to become that next big unicorn, of which Zimbabwe hasn't had any to this date. So my key take point from my own words is, in my own experience, is this: never listen to people. People talk, right? Never listen to them. Never listen to yourself at times. Always listen to that burning desire and dream that is inside you. And never think that you ever do anything on your own. You always need a team. Of course, you're so good, you're so great, but you need a team. You need someone who is going to push you when you're falling. You need someone to wake you up, to say, let's do this, let's continue. So, rounding it all up, I would say, you need to be yourself, and you need to be arrogant, because through this we've managed to go through a number of accelerators that were chosen out of a lot of people. I'll give an instance. The Hout Prize Foundation chose us out of a group of 300,000 world startups, and we were amongst 33 of them. The University Startup World Cup, we were amongst the group of, we were around 7 from thousands of applications that came in last year. So it's a number. We talk about the Miller Center. We talk about even other areas where we've even received funding, the Green Enterprise for the International Labour Organizations, etc. Like, I no longer count awards to this date because they mean nothing. What means a lot is whether your customer is happy, is whether you are living up to your obligation. That's what matters.
Very, very inspiring words from yours truly, Ryan Katayi, right here. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, African Young Entrepreneurs, and please ring the notification bell right here. Bye. Tiba, bye,
Bye, guys.